I'm Edward Sutton coming to you with another LEGO video. This time is 10 cool LEGO weapons that you could build yourself. Here are the 10 weapons. We'll go deeper on them soon. First LEGO weapon I want to look at is this custom prismatic blade that I made. It is not the actual mold, which I will compare it to in a second, and it is not show accurate either, but I do think it looks much cooler. And if the blades were built some like this, some could have been a regular katana, some in other styles, I feel like that would have given the blades more personality, because in Ninjago they were not very unique, at least in the set. In the show they did glow different colors. Okay, so now I'm gonna show it to you in a minifigure's hand. Here we have Drix with both my custom prismatic blade and the prismatic blade that LEGO released. In my opinion, the curve of my custom prismatic blade does make the blade look a little cooler and more ominous, but the blades are not the same color, but I feel like it's close enough that it would definitely be a cool rendition on a prismatic blade. As you can see, they both have that like shine to them, like when you put it in the right light. So here I'll take out the regular prismatic blade, and now look, it looks so much cooler. You could get, it's just like a regular sword, I guess. You could get them into a bunch of cool poses with it. In my opinion, I really think if the prismatic blades had more detail put into them in the sets, there would be a better collectible. The next weapon I want to show you is this, and it might not look like much, but in my mind I imagine it as like a metal pipe or like a baseball bat. So if you're building like a Lego city or Lego New York City and you want to put some thugs in it and give them some weapons, I think this is the perfect weapon. Here is the weapon in the hands of a Sons of Garmadon villain. So in the show they were just like regular street thugs, so I thought this weapon would be perfect for them. As you can see, it kind of does look like a metal pipe. There's a silver stud on the bottom just to give some detail, and it is built with some Technic pieces and that are slid on a bar. I don't know if you can see that. This next weapon is kind of a funny weapon, and any Ninjago fans out there could probably already tell who it's for: Master Wu. So I basically just put a teapot with like a flame piece coming out of it to like pretend to be tea pouring out on a hollow stud on a white staff with a tassel. Now if you don't like the tassel, here's how it looks without the tassel, but in my opinion it does look better with the tassel, and the tassel could serve as kind of like a tea bag, because you pour tea, you put the tea bag to make the tea, and I'll show it to you in Wu in a second. Here is how Wu looks like with the tea staff, and this actually reminds me of a scene in season 1 where he pours tea on one of the serpentine. So I thought that was funny, and I guess I recreated that in this weapon. So he's pouring, it looks like he's pouring the tea. He could use it as a staff, whatever you imagine, I guess. This next weapon is probably one of my favorite weapons that I created. It's kind of like a riot shield, but then it could also be used as like a blaster. And I built it. It's not that complicated, but I do like the techniques I use in this. So there's this shield piece that I built on top. I put 2 circular studs there, one of these pieces. Then there's 1x2 brick with that, like when it's in brown it looks like wood. 2 1x1 circular plates, a circular jumper, and a Nexo shield, and that gives it this cool like gauntlet look that could also be used as a shield, if you can tell. And like in a minifigure's hand it looks so much cooler. I'll show you now. So in this Imperium guard's hand, you can see this is what it looks like as a shield. looks like a regular shield, and now you could turn the weapon this way with the hand, and now it looks like a blaster. I think it looks very cool. That's how it looks from this side. And then you could pretend it's like a double barrel gun. You could pretend it's shooting at someone or something. In this case, I guess a dragon. And that is this weapon I put some thought into because I saw the gray shield piece, and I knew I wanted to do something cool with it and not just make a regular shield. This next weapon I made for a Crystal Warrior because the weapons they got were kind of underwhelming. They just got spears and swords. So this is like a hammer. So like you could pretend that there's just more variation in the weapons. And I just used a snot brick with studs on two sides and put these transparent pink crystal pieces on them on a gunmetal gray lightsaber piece with a black bar on it. As you can see, this weapon in the hand of the Vengestone Warrior, it looks so much cooler than just the regular sword piece, and it is definitely a little more versatile. And I think you can make other weapons, like maybe the nunchucks, and also they did have that molded piece that turned the golden weapons into crystallized pieces, but that was only for the generals. I like this as so like your Vengestone Warriors don't just look like the same character over and over, and you give them some variation with their weapons at least. This weapon is like a mace, and you can see it has 5 different colored Lego gems on it. And if you have like a fantasy realm, you could give this to like a wizard as like the staff that creates things, and that was my interpretation of this weapon, and that's why I gave it to my sig fig, because like my sig fig is basically like the mascot of this channel, and I'm creating all these videos and cool Lego stuff. So, and you can see it has the clear piece, the transparent pink, transparent green, transparent blue, and transparent red gems. Those are just the gems I had on hand. And it could be cool with just one color of gems, I guess, but I like it with the multiple colored gems. As I said before, this weapon is for my sig fig. And you can see he's holding it like how you would hold a mace. It does look a little big. You could put it in both hands like a staff, but I do think it looks very cool like this, like he's about to swing at something and like knock it out. I definitely think this is one of the cooler weapons with the snot brick and the gems. I also, to make the hilt, I used a Monkey Kid staff piece in black and a telescope. If you like Ninjago and giving your ninja cannon weapons, this weapon I made I made it to be Nia's Wild Brain era spear. Her spear in the show does have a little black, but I did not have the pieces on hand to do that. I still think it looks close enough, and in Nia's hands it does look very cool. I definitely think this is one of the weapons you should build if you're a Ninjago fan. And you can see, again, I used a telescope piece, I used a lightsaber hilt piece, the kunai piece, and this, I don't know what piece this is called. If anyone knows what piece, you could tell me in the comments, like what's the piece number or name or whatever. But anyways, I do think this is a cool weapon. And this is how Nia looks with the spear. As you can see, I guess you could see there might be a little bend in the spear because I don't know if it's fully connected because it is a little fragile. There, I think I fixed it. And otherwise, well, either way, it does look very cool if you could be careful to make sure it doesn't break. But it is a very easy fix. It's like 7 pieces, 6-7 pieces, and I do think it looks very cool. This next weapon is only 3 pieces in it. It's like a dragon claw or something. I made a couple of clawed weapons. Maybe if in a part 2 I'll show more of them off. But this is very simple. It may be a little thick, but I do like these pieces. I think these silver pieces, I don't know where they originated in, but I know they came with some Ninjago spinners, and then there's just a gold lightsaber hilt piece. You can imagine a minifigure holding it and like clawing their way up a mountain or something. Like these could be used to climb maybe, or like to chokehold somebody. I don't know. Do whatever your imagination. That's Lego. But I do overall like the look of this weapon very much. Show off this weapon, we have Clancy. So you could see he could hold it like that. And I guess if you have the minifigure, you could technically use it as a shield, like against the sword. Like you can imagine the sword coming up against that. It won't like fit through. Well, it's not like a regular shield, but it could be used to like block swords, scythes, I guess, you know, whatever. And then here you could also use it to like Wolverine claws, and like to stab, do all that fun stuff. And then here it looks, I think this is a cool angle of the weapon. I'll leave you with that. This weapon, if I'm being honest, I do not know what to call it. I just threw some pieces together, put them on each side of a lightsaber hilt, and I do think it looks very cool. It's like a double spiked spear or something. So you have a lightsaber piece, 2 cone pieces, and then there's that stud piece with the bar sticking out, 2 regular golden studs, and a clip, and a tooth piece. Very common pieces, very simple pieces, and put them together, and they do make a very cool looking weapon. You could see this weapon in Zane's hand. It does have some reach, I guess you could say. I do think it's a very cool weapon. Kind of reminds me of the weapon they gave to Lego gave to Moro in the Dragonian Storm Village set, just because it has something on both ends, and it spikes on the opposite end, on the opposite direction, like how you can see this one, the spikes from the back, and you can't see on that side, and then same thing the other way around. I do think this is a very cool weapon. I believe it was one of the first weapons I ever created. This last weapon is like some type of scythe. It has like the arrow piece on the bottom, the hook piece, this hook piece on the top from, I guess, was that that's a Ninjago piece. And then to cap it off, there's 2 silver studs and a gray cheese slope. Very simple build, very effective, especially in a minifigure's hand. Here is SOG Cole with that weapon. Here you can see from the side, he looks cool. You can put it across his body, make him look like he's swinging at something. I just love posing minifigures with these weapons, and even though I don't, some of these weapons I display on the minifigures, some I don't. I do have a full box of weapons for whenever I get a new minifigure or if I want to change out the weapon. Comment if you want a part 2 to this video. I can show more weapons that I made, and I overall think these weapons are very cool. This is one of my top 5 weapons that I made, definitely.